Okay, hello everyone. I'm recording myself because I am not going to do a Facebook Live because this is actually my third time recording this because I am very bad at speaking and have a lot of anxiety. But as a lot of you know, it's Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and I just wanted to bring some attention to that. In the past week, I've had like a really strong urge to speak about something or say something, and I just went for a run and my adrenaline's going, so we're gonna do it now. But I had to write it out, so I'm gonna be looking over at my screen to help me stay on track and speak. So I just want to talk about sexual assault and a little bit about my story and my perspective, and then also I wanted to share some statistics with you. So 90% of adult rape victims are women. 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men have been sexually assaulted or raped at some point in their lives. Most female victims of rape, 79.6%, experience their first rape before age of 25, and a little less than half experience their first rape before the age of 18. And with men, 27.8% experience theirs before the age of 10. And those are really horrifying statistics, even more so because we know that those numbers are much, much higher. And I encountered my first sexual assault when I was 6. And sexual assault is any type of sexual contact or behavior that occurs without the explicit consent of the recipient. And this can range from an unwanted comment, coercion, or all the way to rape. So mine was by someone who was very close to me, and statistics show that more than half of female victims of rape report getting raped by an intimate partner or a close acquaintance. And so after that, from 6 to 18, it was a reoccurrence in my life. And so much so that I convinced myself that it was something I deserved. That I at some point had did something wrong or was born damaged, and this was my punishment, and that was just how it was going to be. I started to expect men to not listen to me when I said no or stop or I don't want to, and I stopped fighting back when they didn't listen. I just kind of endured it and left my body for that time and then came back afterwards. And each time I came back, it was much more hollow feeling than it was when I had left. And then when I left high school and got a taste of the real world, I realized that I didn't have to be this way. And I didn't want to. I wanted to fix the damage that had been done, but I just really didn't know how. And so I went to see my first therapist when I was 19. The first session, she got right into it, and I was more than willing to share my story because I just wanted to get to the point, wanted to fix this and become a new woman. So after I was done talking and opening up, she said something along the lines of, well, usually when that happens to a woman once, there's just something about her after that, it keeps happening. And that statement super confused me. So I asked her what she meant. And she said, the way you look and carry yourself because of your prior experiences, it invites people like that in. And I shut down. I knew she was wrong, or maybe she had good intentions and was wording it wrong, but it cut me to my core. And if I had been somebody of weaker will, those words could have possibly done like a devastating amount of damage. So then after that, with the help of some really good friends, I started to see my worth, and I knew that what had happened was wrong and that I was not a bad person or a dirty person, and there wasn't something about me. But healing takes time, and I didn't really go about it the correct way. I kind of just learned how to bury it, really. And then when I was 21, I was sexually assaulted again by a coworker. And this time, with the growth that I had, I decided I wasn't going to be quiet. I told my close friends, my dad, my boss, and some coworkers. Some people were supportive and cared, others blew it off, and a lot of people made up their own story, which is something that happens a lot. It was along the lines of, you just got drunk and had sex with a guy, and now you regret it, so you're making up this story so you don't look bad. You just want to save face. And I even went to the police, and they were very cold, and they basically said, no blood, no bruises, no case. And they kind of made it out that I was a woman using crying rape to get revenge on a guy because I'd been scorned. Yes, so after that I collapsed into myself. The feeling of helplessness brought everything back that I had buried, and it was tenfold. I didn't know how to cope. It was a really bad time for a long time. And it just didn't feel fair that I was the one that had to always be left feeling like I did, that there was never repercussions for their actions, that people didn't believe me, that I just had to suffer in silence. And then, so they got worse, and then they got better with the help of a lot of good friends and a support system, and my own self choosing to do research and read books and try different types of therapy, find something that worked for me. So let me see. Yeah. So I decided to really heal, and I decided to let go of the anger, which was like the most difficult part, and to forgive. But finally, after that, my body felt like mine. And I had PTSD for quite a while, and a lot of people do. And I still do. Sometimes I have trouble relating intimacy, physical intimacy, with it being a good thing. Like, it's not pleasant, like, and it is, but sometimes my head just flickers back randomly, and I can't control it. But I'm not saying any of this for pity at all. I don't want attention. I'm an incredibly happy person. I love my life, and because of everything I've been through, I'm super strong, and I have a different perspective. But I'm saying this because I know that there's some people who are going to be listening and can relate and have their own story. And I want you to know that your pain is valid, that there is no allotted period of time that you have until you have to get over it. Like, there's just not. Like, people are going to tell you that happened last week, it happened a month ago, it happened a year ago. Get over it. Like, it doesn't work that way. And if you want to cry every day if you have to. If you want to scream, if you want to be angry, it's all okay. How you deal with it and how you cope is up to you. Don't let yourself go. Don't believe that you're damaged. You're not damaged. You didn't deserve it, and it's not your fault. In any scenario, whether you were wearing something skimpy, or you had a drink, or you had been dating a guy and you trusted him and went to his house and that was your fault because you trusted him. No, it's never your fault. And any young women listening, own your body. Know you should demand nothing less than the utmost respect. Even if you've been dating the guy for 3 or 5 years, whatever, no is no, and you have the right to say that. And if they get mad, then that's their problem, and they need to deal with that. And if it's somebody that's well known in your community, that's really respected individual, they still have no right. And don't be quiet about it if they don't listen. Make sure you are heard, and no matter what the case is, you're not alone. There are so many people like me and like many other women that will have your back. The first person you tell may not believe you, so tell another person, and then another person, and then another person until someone does believe you. Some people will never believe you, even if it's right in front of their face, and that's their problem. But I see you, and this stands for men too. I'm just speaking on my experience and perspective as a woman in relation to other women. And lastly, I want to say, if someone comes to you with a claim, really hear them. Don't turn your head because it's easier, or you're worried about how it'll look for you or for them, or you just don't want to do the paperwork. Whatever it may be, stop, listen to them, and believe them. And that's really the end of what I had to say. I hope that came across okay, and don't pick apart my words too much. I'm just, yeah, I could go forever with this conversation and really dive into specific cases and scenarios, but I just wanted to say that. And if anybody out there is dealing with it or wants to tell their story, because sometimes it's hard to heal from it when no one will believe you and you can't get your story out. And I will listen to your story, and I will be here for you if you need it. And I'm also going to, when I post this video, attach the numbers for the sexual assault hotline and the suicide prevention hotline, as well as a pretty good TED Talk by Amy Hurdy about sexual assault. And it's pretty interesting if anybody wants to watch it. But yes, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend.